Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? Another week, another edition of the show. This week, I'm excited to have Chris Archuleta from the awesome band Box Elder, who I'm lucky enough to have come play during their tour. They will be performing at Hidden Tracks on my birthday show, May 23rd. So I'm very excited for that, and I'm very excited to have him here after crushing this album since it came out on April 3rd. It is a must-have and a must-listen in everyone's whatever you're listening to nowadays. I don't really give a fuck as long as you're listening to the music. I prefer that you buy it. They are on a really cool label called Steadfast Records. So please search them out, find them, listen to them, come see them at Hidden Tracks Records. But without further ado, Chris, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's my absolute pleasure. And so I'm going to start off just mentioned, April 3rd, album dropped. I have been crushing it. You probably have tons of listens coming from the Boonton, New Jersey, West Milford, New Jersey area on all your streaming things you can look at. It's fantastic. It's a great album. I'm so excited that it's out. How are you feeling now that the album done, finished, out, and you're starting to go on tour for it?
So okay, so Box Elder, when it started as like my solo project, like during COVID. So we're talking like years ago, basically at this point. We're talking like 2020-ish time period where I like started writing songs, started kind of like teaching myself how to engineer, and started picking away at like what would become Box Elder. I put out like an EP of like it was 4 songs in.
These distractions are constant.
Yeah, I put out that EP, and that was all just me. Bass, guitar, drums, synth, vocals, mixing, mastering, everything. That was all just me kind of hanging out, figuring out like how to do all of that. And it literally took me from then until now. I mean, like we haven't really released like anything else. We've been very quiet. I just moved to Salt Lake City from Jackson, Wyoming, in January. So prior to that move, I did have bandmates, and like we would play shows and stuff like that. But nothing that was like super reputable, I guess. Like we opened for Agent Orange. I guess that's like the coolest, like most reputable thing that we did. But other than that, it kind of feels like we haven't really like done much. So as of April, actually a month ago yesterday, we our bass player left that like era of the band and everything, and then like a week from now our drummer would have left the band. So we kind of had like lost 2 people like back to back last April, just because like we're all older. My birthday was actually yesterday, so I just turned 35. Like all of us are older.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you. I'm stoked to play your birthday show. That's gonna be tight. So we're just kind of all older. Our drummer had a kid, and like our bass player was kind of like looking at like bigger steps with his life and everything. So we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, okay, like who still wants to be in the band, or like what's really going on? Me and my lady, we had the discussion like multiple times that we were looking at relocating, and we kind of had our eye on Salt Lake. We were originally looking at like Pacific Northwest, like Seattle, Portland, those areas, but Salt Lake is like pretty close to home for us, so it just kind of made sense for us to go there for the time being. And we moved here with like we already had bandmates like lined up since October. The album was done. Everything, like basically last April when my bandmates were leaving the band was at the same time period that I started talking to like PR, and I started talking to Steadfast. So it was like we have people leaving the band, but I'm also in like this prime position where like I'm talking to a label and I'm talking to these industry people that are like wanting to do stuff with my band. So it was kind of like the best time for us at the best things were happening to the band at the worst time.
Yeah.
So we just kind of like waited in hiatus mode until like October of this year. I started driving to Salt Lake like twice a month to start rehearsing with like our new bandmates. And this in January, when we moved down here, we played our first 2 shows at the end of January with like our new drummer and new bass player. Like before we were a 5-piece, now we're just jamming as a 4-piece. So it's just been like kind of a wild time, and like the album coming out is like a culmination of like, I mean, I've been working on this stuff kind of like behind the scenes for the last like 4 years. So it feels like 4 years of my life got poured into creating this thing, and to finally have that out, like now I'm like sitting twiddling my thumbs like, okay, like what, I have to be doing something, but there's like nothing else there. Like at this point it's just like trying to get people to glue themselves to the album and listen to stuff, and that's kind of where we're at. So in one phase, I'm super thankful that the album is out and I'm really excited to see where it goes. But on the other phase, I'm like, what? And like, I feel like I should be doing like all this stuff, and I just don't. Like, it's we're past it. So it's been interesting the last couple days.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been, when it comes to music and music creation, what people don't understand a lot of the behind the scenes, especially band dynamics, especially putting together an album, how long it takes when you put it out. And sometimes when the album comes out, you're already like sometimes over it. You're like, okay, I've like you said, it's a culmination of 4 years. Some people, they get ready to put an album out. The label doesn't want to push it for another 8 months. They don't want to do this. And then by the time the album comes out, you're already on to the next thing. But now you have to go out and tour on an album that you put together so long ago and poured so much into, but you're always looking for the next thing. And true artists are always like, you're never good with what just came out because you're already on to the next thing and trying to create something.
That's 100%. We actually just had the conversation. I don't think it was last week. It was the week before. I've had this like idea for like a concept album for like years, and it's kind of like going off of like the Alchemy Index by Thrice. That like I've always wanted to do like for like songs with like very, very different themes about them. And like I wanted them to be themed on like the elements. And so I wanted to just release like 4 songs, like where like air would be like basically like a fiddle, like bluegrass tune. And then like water would be this like deep, like very dark, like moody kind of like shoegaze thing. And then like fire being this like borderline, like Randy Rhoads, like thrash level, like, something like that. And we already were having the discussion last week about like how to, like, we should actually like start throwing around ideas to like make something like that like a reality.
Yeah, and that's the big part about creation. Some people have gotten to the moment as well where they put out something and are like, all right, yeah, that was good, and now I'm done. And I don't want to say it's giving up. It's just like not seeing something through, especially when when you're an artist, it's always going to run through you. It's just sometimes maybe the art changes, and you just got to figure out a way to find a new outlet for it. Maybe it's not music. Maybe you go on to painting. Maybe you go on to writing. Like it's just something completely different.
It's like a transfer of energy.
Yeah. So, I mean, you are getting ready to go on a little tour, which is awesome. I'm very excited to have you perform by us. We posted your listing, whole flyer today of everywhere you're going to be. I mean, it's pretty fucking awesome. It's a good run. How do you feel now that you're going to get out on the road to, pursue new things, and see new people, see new places, and bring the album to people who may or may not have heard it already?
I mean, naturally there's that anxiety of like the worst case scenarios when like going on the road and everything like that. So there have been like those whole things like where I'm like, we've never really experienced that personally. So it is that thing of like, I think that we're going to be fine. And I think that the run is going to be successful. Like no matter what way you cut it, like this is our first run. Like, what do you like? This could be our worst tour ever. And we don't even know that it is our worst tour ever because it's the first one,
Yeah.
Like everything could go wrong and we still get to be like, oh, well, that was the best tour we've ever done because it's the only one. I'm really excited to finally take these songs out and like do something like that feels real with them. We've played a handful of local shows. I think at our release show. Our release show was this last Friday. I think it was our 5th show that we've played. So we're still in that like new band kind of area where we're still kind of like just figuring things out. We're having fun. We're loving what we're doing, but it's I think everything is gonna like really. I think I'm gonna have this moment like while we're on tour where I'm gonna be like, "Holy shit, we're a real band."
Yeah.
Um, and I think I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to like getting these songs into new audiences that aren't Salt Lake City. I personally, I in any band that I've ever been in, I've never been to the East Coast. I've done the Midwest and I've done West Coast, Pacific Northwest, down south, like things like that. But the furthest east I've ever gone was Cleveland, Ohio. So I'm excited to like take music further.
Nice. I'm excited to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. I mean, you're going into it with a great attitude too of, you guys haven't been on tour together. This could be, no matter what, it'll be the best one because it's the first, so having that attitude is great going into it because a lot of shit can go wrong like it usually does, but I'm sure everything will go just fine for all you guys.
I have one absolute nightmare horror story from being on tour, and that is it. But the horror story that I have from tour is like one of my favorite, like funniest stories where it's like purely like I tell the story to people and they're just like, yeah, that didn't happen. And I'm like, I promise you with every fiber of my being that every single one of these details is truth and as pure as my soul. Like
Do you want to share that story? I mean, we're here telling stories, so.
Oh my God. All right. I'll give you a summarized version.
Okay.
So we were it was our very first date of tour. We were running super late, like getting out the door because our guitar player forgot to set an alarm. So we were like already like stressed, like getting out. Day one of tour was in Vegas. And we were driving from Salt Lake. So on our way down, we had my old band was signed to a label and they sent like a driver, like photographer, like person to like help us out like on the tour and everything like that. And so he was driving and was just tired. So our drummer was like, I'll drive for a little bit. And he was like, all right. So we pull over, my drummer jumps in, and our bass player couldn't do the tour. So we had to like find a new bassist last minute. And it ended up being my boss. So me and our guitar player and my boss are sitting in the back of the van, no seatbelts, no anything like that, teaching my boss how to play these good songs. And I'm like looking away from like the front window and everything, like looking at like my boss to make sure he's playing the songs right. And my guitar player screams at the top of his lungs, "Holy shit." And I like look up and I realize that our entire van is like at a 45-degree angle, like off the road. Everything in my world is now slow motion, and amps, bodies, everything that like that are just flying all over the fucking van. There is a construction zone in front of us with literal like construction like workers like full diving out of the way of our van. And so we pop back onto the highway, and basically we had like our tires are square because we were just on the brakes that hard. Like we had to Flintstone our asses to St. George, Utah to go get new tires. And my drummer told us afterwards, we were like, what happened? And he was like, the fucking vent, like our like air conditioning was like blowing on his hand and it was making his hand cold. So he was like fucking with it and he almost killed all of us trying to fuck with the vent. So his hand wasn't cold. We get to St. George and we're like doing the tire, and everybody they're looking at us like, what the fuck happened? We explained to them what happened. We're like, please, like we have a show tonight. And like a bunch of the people like at the Big O or whatever it was were like, you guys are doing something cool, important, whatever, like they can jump the line. So they bumped us up the line, they got us in and out, and we're hauling ass for Vegas. So the venue that we played is the Double Down Saloon in Las Vegas, which is in like the shittiest part of downtown Vegas, and it's attached to a dispensary. So naturally, we do what every band would do. We go to the dispensary and we get as much weed as humanly possible, go back to the venue, drop all of our shit off, and then we proceed to hotbox our van while we're driving to what all of us firmly believe is like no nicer than like a Fazoli's or like a Olive Garden or something like that, like Italian restaurant. We are high as fuck, and we walk into this like it's a 5-star Italian restaurant. And this dude, like the host, is like, "Good evening, gentlemen. How may I be of assistance to you this evening?" And I like start laughing, and I'm like, "I don't think that we can afford to eat here." And our guitar player goes, "No, Chris, we deserve this." So whatever. All right, so we deserve this. We ate 6 loaves of garlic bread between the 5 of us. None of us could pronounce like our entrees because they were in like Italian, like the whole thing. It was just a whole thing. There's this man that like this restaurant had like waterfalls and shit inside of it. Like it was insanely nice. Guy playing like beautiful like jazz piano like in the entryway. He gets up to go around table to table to like collect tips, and he walks over to our table, and we're just like, "Hey man, like your playing's beautiful, but like we don't have any money. We're in a band and we're on tour right now." And he was just like, "Oh, anybody that I've heard of?" And we were like, "Absolutely not, no way." And he asked us like where the venue was. We told him the spot of the venue, and he's like, "Oh, I've like never heard of the venue. Where is it?" He opens up maps, and he's like, "Oh god, yeah, I don't go over there." So we're like, "All right, well, we're in the sketch, like just the sketchiest part, basically." We go back to the venue, we start loading in, and this girl wearing lingerie sprints up to me and grabs me, and she's like, "Are you in the band?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Can you come talk to me?" And I was like, sure." So she brings me up like onto the stage that we're supposed to be loading into, and she starts interviewing me, but like her face is like 4 inches away from my face, and like she has like both of her hands like as close to my crotch as humanly possible, wearing lingerie, doing this whole thing. And my bandmates are laughing their asses off at me, which like I would be doing the same thing. And my they just start heckling me like when the whole thing gets done. They're just like, "Oh my god, how's it feel to have a boner on like stage in front of like all these people that you're gonna now play a show in front of?" And all of us were just getting a kick out of it. We go out to the van, we start smoking more weed, and the girl comes out with us and sucks down like our entire joint. So we're just like, "What the fuck?" All right. She bails, and it's like me and my guitar player. Well, let's light up another joint because we got like a hit off of that. We light up another joint, and we're just hanging out talking. And my guitar player gets like real silent and sits up straight all of a sudden. And then he just starts like flailing, and he starts like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit." And I'm like, "What? What?" And he lifts his leg up, and his socks were on fire. Apparently there were a bunch of like exposed wires underneath his electric like the seat in the van, and they must have like connected at one point, and they caught his socks on fire. So he had to like play an entire set with like singed marks like up the back of his legs, and like had to play with no socks and like the whole thing. Oh my god, it was so funny. That was day 1 of our tour. All of that shit happened on day 1.
So everything after that was easy.
Everything after that was easy. To be completely honest, the entire rest of that tour was incredible. Like we played like 6 sold out shows, and like the rest of the tour was so good, but it was just this first day, absolute nightmare.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, good story. All right. As a child, now let's go back to like the formative years. When you're a small kid, you hear music for the first time. Do you kind of like remember the artist or band that kind of, for me, as I tell everyone, I was 6 years old. I heard the Beach Boys. My life changed forever. And I remember that specific moment. Do you kind of have a moment like that of like your first musical memory that was like really pivotal of hearing something and then wanting to learn more about music?
So my mom and my dad were like super young when they had me, and my mom was like, she barely drank. I mean, I wouldn't say that she was a partier, but like my mom was like always like like we were just always like out, like doing stuff. Like we were always just like on the move, kind of like here, there, everywhere. And I just always like had kind of like top 40 like R&B, like that, like, mid 90s hip hop stuff
Mm-hmm.
just like was so prevalent to like my youth. Like those songs, like still to this day, like I listen to that stuff all the time just because, and I know every word of most of those songs. um so I guess it was kind of that. I feel like the first time that I ever like really heard music in a way where I was like this is so cool, and like this is something that like I feel like like this band belongs to me. Like my mom didn't like introduce me to this, like it's nothing like that. Like this band, I found them, this is my thing. Um was Modest Mouse, actually. And Modest Mouse is like still to this day like my top 3 favorite bands of all time.
Wow. So they were like your gateway to your musical life was Modest Mouse.
100%. Like they were, I mean, it was 2000, I want to say, was the first time that I heard them. And it just like opened up a doorway to like music that I just didn't really like know existed. Like I remember hearing so I grew up skateboarding, and like even skateboarding when I was a little kid, I would like know the songs and like stuff like that, and would watch the skate videos on repeat and everything. But Modest Mouse was in the Five Boro skateboards video, and the song of course was oh god, what was the song? It was oh man, Teeth Like God's Shoe Shine. And I remember that song came on and I was just like, this is so cool. Like it just like the ups and downs where it like starts all heavy, and then there's like the bridge part in the middle where it goes into, I mean, now as a musician I can say that it goes into 6/4, and it like slows down, and like there's the tempo change, and then they bring the tempo back up and it gets heavier again. Like that song resonated with me in a way that I was like, I have to like own this album. I went out and I bought the album, and I remember that like jump started this thing where I was like, I think I went on like Last FM or something like that and like typed in like bands like Modest Mouse, and that's how I found Death Cab for Cutie. That's how I found like Ladytron. That's how I found Of Montreal. I found Built to Spill. And so Dinosaur Jr., I mean, I to this day I still adore Dinosaur Jr. I'm wearing a Dinosaur Jr. shirt right now. They all of those bands I kind of like found through Modest Mouse and skateboarding and things like that, and they just resonated super heavy with me. I mean, I was 17, I want to say, like when I really got into like punk. Like that was when I kind of like started listening to the Misfits, Minor Threat. I got into like Bad Brains and those type of bands. And then pretty shortly after that is when I discovered Iron Maiden. I got it really into like Megadeth. I got into Behemoth, those type of bands. But I was a bit older. I mean, I got into like Sabbath and stuff like that when I think I was 18 when I got into those bands.
Well, as long as you got into them, it like that's always my thing too. Like music's always there, and it finds you when you least expect it, but when you need it most. So, like the fact that it found you and you found it is the most important part. Doesn't matter how old you are, as long as I love introducing. I have this kid that works for me, and he's like 29. I think he just turned 29, but like I went down this whole thing with Iron Maiden with him, and he never really listened to it, didn't know about it all that much. He's like, he knew who Iron Maiden was, but he never listened. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm gonna start you on their basically their opus, like the one that is their symphony. And I'm like, and I put on Power Slave and I just let them sit there and listen. I go, this is heaven. Like, this is metal refined. Here's going to see a metal symphony. This is exactly what this album is. And now anytime a fucking Iron Maiden record comes, he's like, I want that. I go, it's too expensive. You can't afford it. I'm like, but I understand.
They are my favorite band of all time. They are the catalyst of why I picked up a guitar.
Wow. Well, you're gonna love the shop then, because there's a lot of Iron Maiden stuff there. So,
dude, I have first pressings of Power Slave, and I have a first pressing of Live After Death.
Nice. Me too. I have my Iron Maiden personal collection is gigantic. It's funny, like when I opened the store, like I was like, I have so much Iron Maiden stuff. Like, I kind of gotta like get rid of some of this because I don't know what anyone else is ever gonna do with it. So like
so much.
all my stuff, dude. I brought my original fucking tour books from like the 80s.
That's sick.
And I'm just like, what am I getting? Someone else is gonna want to enjoy these. I was like, I've looked at it for the last time. I don't need it, so I brought them to the store to sell. I'm just like, I have way too much Iron Maiden stuff. But
dude, I have my sister a couple of years ago didn't know what to get me for Christmas, and she found like rubber duckies that were limited edition. Like, and I'm looking at them right now. I got the Trooper, I got Somewhere Back in Time, and Killers. And then she bought me, they made like a Lemmy one, and then they made 2 Ozzy ones as well. And I have all of those sitting on a shelf. But I have all Zero Skateboards did a run of Iron Maiden shit. Like, I've had every beer that like Iron Maiden produced and like everything like that. Oh my God. You and me are one and the same. I have so much Iron Maiden crap in this house.
I love it. So, all right. So Modest Mouse is your gateway to new music. You find this new music and you're in those formative years. When did you start to like grab a hold of music and want to figure you wanted to do something with music? How old were you when you're like, I kind of want to play something and do something with music?
This always blows people away. I started playing guitar when I was 20. Where I went to college I grew up skateboarding. Skateboarding was like my entire life. I didn't even have a plan to go to college when I graduated from high school. Like, literally, like my goal with what I wanted with my life I was going to move to Philadelphia and was going to pursue being a professional skateboarder. Like, that was the thing that I wanted to do. That summer, basically my best friend that I like grew up skateboarding with, he got accepted into a college in, I want to say Maine. And he didn't even tell me that he was like planning on going to college, because it was just the thing that me and him had always like discussed. Like, yeah, we're just going to like grow up skateboarding. Like, that was like the only thing that like me and him really ever talked about. We talked about music, we talked about movies, but like skateboarding was like the only real thing that like made our relationship, what it was. And when he moved, I was just like, well, shit, like now I'm just like alone. Maybe I should go to college. So I ended up going to college, and where I went didn't have a skate park or anything like that. So my freshman year, I just kind of like hung out, did video games, like kind of just focused on school and like hung out. And then my sophomore year, I found out that there was a DIY venue in town. It was just like somebody's basement. I started going to shows there a lot. I ended up becoming good enough friends with like a couple of the guys there that I ended up moving in with them. They played in like a pop punk cover band, kicked out their guitar player over some stuff, and basically we're like, okay, we got to find a new guitar player. And it was like, well, we should just like talk to Chris. And they were like, well, let's go talk to him. And I remember that conversation, me just looking at them and being like, dude, I don't play guitar. I literally don't know how to play guitar. And they were like, well, let's go to the store and like, we're going to figure it out. And so my friends literally took me to a guitar shop and they paid for me to get a like an Ibanez Geo. It was like $150 or something like that. So my friends bought me a guitar for me to be in their band. And so
what was the name of that very first band you were in?
Oh my God. Oh my, you would. We were called the Fourth Graders. It was like Blink 182, Newfound Glory, shitty pop punk cover band.
Okay. Yeah, that's not the greatest name, but it's not the worst we've ever had.
It was very, very bad. So it was yeah, you would. And then it was that, I mean, that never obviously went anywhere. We didn't, whatever. And it was, I think it was like when I was about 24. I think I was 24 when I actually started like my second band, like my first like real band of like where we were like writing songs and we were like actively playing together and everything like that. The DIY house that I was talking about, I actually ended up moving into that house eventually, started booking shows, started like helping out there. And yeah, I was like 24 when my like first real band started, and did that until I was like 26 and jumped into another band, started touring and doing, kind of like the bigger picture stuff. And then I think I kind of like walked away from music for, I mean, about 3 years, from 28 until like I was like 31. And then that's when Box Elder started, and that brings us to now.
Oh, nice. So getting into Box Elder, if no one ever heard of Box Elder before, you meet this complete stranger on the street and you tell them you're in a band and they say, play me a song of yours. What song of yours are you playing for that person?
Probably Arrows.
Everything I've learned memories that I just cannot seem to leave behind. How many arrows must it take for me to find where to go, where I'm not pinned inside your...
Just because it's one of the few songs that we have that's like that very like structurally like pop structure, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where it very like it's one of the only songs that we have where it's like
it's formulaic to a normal person can hear it and understand how
totally intro, verse, chorus, bridge,
Yeah.
chorus. Like it's one of our only songs that does that. So probably that one.
All right. What's your favorite song you've recorded to date?
Clarity. It's very different from the rest of the songs. There's a lot more like textures and like layering and like things like that like went into the process of making that song. And like it's our song that like I guess you could call like the outro of it like the chorus, but there's not like a defined chorus. Like when we talk about that song like in the band, we literally describe it as intro, verse, bridge 1, verse 2, bridge 2, outro. Like the word chorus is never even brought up. So that song was just super fun to record. The way that song like came together is just kind of uncanny. It was really fun to make.
Now, how about, I mean, you've only had a couple shows to play so far, but so far, what has been your favorite song to perform live? Like to the point where like you just had your record release show last Saturday, and when it came up on the set list and you performed, you're like, fuck yeah.
Either Bug or Arrows. Bug is for me, is like my like ripper where I just have like riff after riff after riff after riff, like where like it's always kind of like changing, and I feel like I just get to like play really cool stuff on the guitar. It's just really fun to play. And Arrows is the other side of that where it's really easy to play on guitar, but I get to like vocally, I get to just like go off and like be like really in people's face. Like I get to like scream and shit, and it's just fun to sing.
Nice. Now I get to look and be excited for certain things.
Yeah.
All right. Your first concert you ever went to and the first concert you ever got to choose to go to, if they're different.
They are different. First concert I ever went to was Billy Idol and Faith No More.
Nice.
That was the first concert I ever went to with my mom. And first concert I ever like paid my own money to go to was Flogging Molly and Riverboat Gamblers.
Nice. I had Ian of Riverboat on the show years ago. All right. So from first concert, how about first album you were given as a gift and the first one you purchased for yourself?
First album was the Bare Naked Ladies Greatest Hits.
Sorry.
Dude, it's so good.
Is it 2 songs? Like, was it a CD of 2 songs? What is?
Oh my god, I think there were 16 tracks on it. It's like I think there's like it's like one of those where it's like punny, where it's like Real Big Fish's Greatest Hits or whatever is like greatest hits that like nobody's ever heard of or something like that. I think that theirs is also something very similar to that. But that was my first CD, and I love that band. And then first CD I ever paid my own money would have been Revolutions Per Minute, Rise Against.
Nice. That's a good one to use your own money for.
Yeah.
I was staring at Rise Against lyrics in front of me here by my studio. All right. How about an album you think everyone in the world should hear before they die?
I'm trying to not think of something that like I would give to like just like the homies because I know that they would love it. In if it was me handing an album to somebody that I feel like is just like perfect, What You Don't See by The Story So Far is unskippable for me. It does all the right things. I feel like the track listing front to back is the way that album moves is literal perfection. I love that record.
Nice. So how about since you mentioned unskippable, I usually ask like 3 unskippable albums in your constant rotation in your life.
Modest Mouse, Moon in Antarctica, Brave Faceless Everyone, Spanish Love Songs.
I love Spanish love. I it's so rare that people like. I love introducing people to Spanish love songs.
Me too, so much. They're one of my favorite bands right now. Like they have been for a few years now.
I've said it many times here. In the past 10 years, are the best band I've heard. Like best band to come out in the past 10 years. Like everything that they do. I mean, Dylan's he's infectious. I talked to him a couple times through email. Such a nice guy. I got to finally see them last year, and I go to, I mean, besides having my own music venue, I go to so many shows as well. And, you know, my wife is usually there with me, and she goes, I haven't seen you that happy when a band came on stage. And she goes, and we've been together over 20 years. She goes, I don't know if I've ever seen you that happy for a band coming on stage. And I was like a little kid. I just had this shit-eating grin from the moment they stepped on stage and started playing until the show was over.
And they're incredible live. Like incredible live. I love that band.
Yeah, me too.
And a third one, I would say After the Party with Menzingers.
Nice.
Again, perfect album.
All right. How about a band? You can have more than one, because I go with bands that never let you down. Like they're the constant in your life. You're always going to listen to their music when you don't know what you want to listen to. Some people categorize it as favorite bands. I call them bands that never let you down.
Cool. So right now I've been on, and they just put out a new album, and I think that we actually just saw them Saturday night. I've been listening to Rat Boys a ton over the last like 2 years, I want to say. And their discography is like, no matter what song comes on, I'm always like, they just are a good fucking band. Like they are really, really good. So Rat Boys, love that band.
Absolutely awesome. I was very lucky that early on, like I caught Rat Boys early on, and Julia was like, she might have been the 20th person on the show.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked to her for a little bit on Saturday night, and she's the sweetest person.
Oh, it's so nice. I mean, she's like sitting on her bed, like just talking to me. I was like, this is dope. I'm like, these guys are going to be huge.
Huge.
I go, I'm excited to watch what happens to you. She's like, oh, stop. I was like, I'm telling you. I've been doing this long enough in my life, and music's been such the only constant I've ever had. I know fucking music. And I know when it's going to resonate with people.
Yeah.
What you're doing is going to resonate. That was like right after their first album, going into their second.
I love that. So I mean, you were in it from the get-go, basically.
Yep.
I texted her yesterday. Our Chicago show on this upcoming tour fell through. And even with like the Chicago tour or the Chicago date falling through, I like didn't think about it when I was talking to her, but I just shot her a message like on Instagram and was like, hey, if this message, like hopefully this message like makes it to you, and was like, if you know anybody in the DIY, if you know anybody that could help us out, that'd be awesome. Like and we'll kind of like work through that or whatever. And she messaged me back. She shot me like a handful of people. She was like, oh, reach out to this person. Like they should be able to help you out. Tell them that I sent you, and like the whole thing. So I was like, okay, well, Rat Boys just helped me book a Chicago show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I would say them. Spanish Love Songs, again, we just got off of our high horses about that band. Everything that they've done to this point in their career is perfect. I absolutely adore that band. And if I had to throw like one more that I genuinely just like, I'm trying to think more like punky or something like that. Rancid always puts me in a good mood. I love that band.
Wow. They've never resonated with me. I don't like, and I grew up when Op Ivy was like, they just did their thing and then they broke up and then Rancid became this new thing. And I was like, I just don't, it never really hit me. I don't know what it is. Like everything else from that fucking Bay Area back in the day, like I'm all in, but Rancid just never did
You
it.
know what? I'm gonna even revoke Rancid. I'm gonna say Descendants. Descendants are the like, dude, they don't miss. Every single record absolutely bangs.
Every single record?
Every record.
Okay.
I'll die on that hill.
I'll let you die on that hill.
Like I've met Bill a handful of times.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school in Laramie, Wyoming, and Laramie is where Teenage Bottle Rocket is based.
Yep.
And so TBR used to they used to come to our house venue and for shows and stuff like that, like every once in a while. And I think Bill drove up from Fort Collins to come hang out with them. And they brought Bill to a show. And then like whenever I was in Fort Collins, we would just kind of like stop by Blasting Room and see if he was there and stuff. Like I've met Bill like multiple times. He's super sweet guy. Like he's just really cool, genuine. Like it's Descendants have been a band I've listened to since I was probably like 19 or 20. And every one of their records I could probably sing like flawlessly. I mean, I love that band.
I can't wait to see and show you my pictures with the Descendants. So
I'm so excited.
And Stevenson, to me, as a former drummer, like he to me is the greatest punk drummer in history. I don't think anybody could keep up with his speed and the way he fucking did everything and wrote everything. Like he just really is. He stands in a class of his own. It's like there's drummers, and to me, then there's Bill Stevenson, Neil Peart, Danny Carey. Like there's this thing where it's like, all right, let's do a Mount Rushmore, and like Bill Stevenson's on it.
Yeah, I've said those exact same words. We need Stefan too, man. Like that dude, he rips guitar.
Dude, he's amazing, dude. One of my favorite CDs I have it's actually really fucking expensive too. Like fucking looking at a Discogs, it's a tribute to the song, like tribute album of all the songs Stefan wrote by all these other bands, like, and it's unbelievable. And it's like, fuck, man, he wrote some fucking killers.
That's sick. I love that.
All right, most overrated band of all time. This is where I let people throw shade.
Fucking hate AC/DC and Guns N' Roses. I will walk out of a bar if those bands are playing. I hate both of those fucking bands so much. I'm gonna throw Kiss in there too.
That's a good one. Yeah,
I can't stand Kiss either.
I understand how people got into them, but the fact that people stuck around is what boggles my mind.
Yeah, I hate that band too.
All right. How about one of the most underrated bands that you can think of that, people may have heard of, but you still think they're extremely underrated?
Billy Talent.
Well, that was fast.
Yeah, I've had that conversation a lot. Dude, Billy Talent is so goddamn good. Yeah, I just have always felt that they were incredibly underrated for what they were. They always get thrown into like those blanket bands of like Rise Against and everything like that. And like I remember like listening to like Billy Talent radio at one point, and just like I remember it was like a bunch of like 3 Days Grace and like Saliva and shit. And I was like, why these bands don't like have anything to do with fucking Billy Talent? And I never understood like why that was a thing. But even like in that blanket, like those bands are all huge when I feel like realistically they probably shouldn't be, and Billy Talent should be way bigger. I don't know.
All right, how about now? This is the combination, the most overrated / underrated band. Like they're overrated because of songs that everybody kind of knows, but they're underrated because everything that no one listened to on the album is just so much better than anything that was ever like put out to the public.
Oh man, that's a good one. I feel like a lot of the time when I'm talking about Pedro the Lion is kind of that band where I feel like Options is such like a well-known, like well-perceived song, like where if you're into like indie music and this thing and that thing, blah, 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 like everybody knows the song Options by Pedro the Lion. And then the rest of their music just gets shoved under the rug. Another band like that, I would say, is Motion City Soundtrack. I feel like there are a lot of people that claim Motion City Soundtrack and they, they only know the 2 or 3 songs off of like their top 8, and then like, the rest of their songs get swept under the rug.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Motion City. From day one, I'm a day oneer with them. Like
the first time I heard that band, I was like, okay, this is glue for me.
Yeah. And Courtney's just like, I don't know what it is. Like his voice is so distinct and it's so perfect for exactly what he creates.
Yeah, I totally agree.
All right. How about, is there a band in your life you had an opportunity to see and didn't go see them for one reason or the other, and now you'll never have a chance to see them?
Oh man.
It's like your biggest missed show regret.
I did until actually very, very recently, and it was Balance and Composure. But I did see them because they got back together.
Yep.
I had tickets to go to their show, and I was just like in my feels about something, and I was like, I don't want to go. And then they broke up like right afterwards, and I was super pissed about that. Let me think. There has to be one. Does Rush with the original lineup count?
I mean, to me, besides Getty's whiny voice, I mean, Rush was Neil. I mean, yeah.
Alex is thrown under the bridge so frequently too. If you want to talk about humans that are shoved under the rug, Alex Lifeson is such a goddamn good guitar player, and people just like cast him aside because he's in a band with Neil and Getty.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I'll take that. All right, your day of freedom. It's the day you get your driver's license. Do you remember your first solo drive, maybe going to pick up a friend, and what you were listening to?
If I had to guess, probably Iron Maiden or like Megadeth, something like that.
All right.
It was like the like one of the big 4, but like, Anthrax, Metallica, maybe something like that. If I had to guess, it was probably Iron Maiden or Megadeth, because those were like my 2 favorite bands during that time period.
Nice. All right. Through all the bands we've been mentioning here on this show so far, what is someone going to be surprised that you're going to mention now that you get tons of enjoyment out of listening to, that no one would really suspect you probably listen to it? Like, it's your guilty pleasure. Like, and I always throw it out. I'm a punk rock guy covered in tattoos, punk, metal, power pop, like all that kind of stuff. But Jamiroquai is my fucking jam. So like, that's how I kind of equate it to something that you
funny. I love that. So I'm a big okay, I actually know it. I really love Of Monsters and Men.
It's not terrible. That's not a horrible thing.
Fucking clap hey music is one of the worst things millennials ever made, dude. In that band, I don't know why. I love that fucking band.
All right. Nice. See?
Yeah, again, I'm the same way. Huge punk dude. Like, I listen to black metal every day of my life. I listen to a ton of indie rock and all this shit that people are always like, you know what? That all makes sense.
Yeah.
And I fuck with Of Monsters and Men.
All right. I love it. All right. 5 minutes left to live. Meteors hurling into the earth. You can only listen to one song and one song only. What are you listening to?
The Glass, Story So Far.
Oh, boom. Fast. Love it. All right. Your house is unfortunately burning to the ground. All living things are out safely. All creatures, everything that has a heartbeat is out of the house, completely safe, unscathed. You can run back in and grab one musical thing that means the most to you. Like, what's the one thing you're running back in for?
My acoustic. My acoustic. Gibson J45.
Nice. Do you have any music memorabilia that is, are you sentimental? Do things mean a lot to you? Do you have like a t-shirt or a poster or something that means more to you than other things in your collection of stuff?
So probably I have a Motion City soundtrack shirt from 2010 that I still own and I still wear like all the fucking time, and I refuse to get rid of it. It's like so old and so tattered that like the sleeves have like come apart, like the inseams have like completely come apart, and they just like have unfolded themselves, and I just like wear the fuck out of that shirt like all the time. It's definitely like I will never get rid of that shirt. The design is super sick, and it's like I think it's the t-shirt I've owned longer than any other shirt I've ever had, and like that type of thing. I think that.
All right. Nice. All right. Well, we're going to be coming into our final segment of the show here shortly. And before we do that, Chris, I'd love to give you the opportunity right now to tell everyone how it is they can find what you're doing, how they can support you, how they can keep up with everything Box Elder's doing moving forward, find tour dates, all that kind of stuff.
So the best thing, I mean, we don't do TikTok, we don't do any of the bullshit stuff. You can find us.
Me neither.
Thank God. I'm too old for that shit. We do Instagram. Instagram is the best way to like keep up with the band and us and like the whole thing. We are on all the streaming stuff. We're Bandcamp, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify. Unfortunately, we're YouTube Music. We're on all the things. As far as like tour dates and everything like that go, I actually just linked all of our tour dates to our Bandcamp, to our Spotify. So if you're on Spotify, all of our tour dates are down at the bottom. If you're on our Bandcamp, they're on the right-hand side. Other than that, basically just Instagram.
Yeah. And we posted your tour dates on our Instagram as well, people. And I mean, the big one, if you were in the New Jersey area, May 23rd at HiddenTrack, Box Elder will be tearing the house down. So don't miss out on that one.
So excited.
All right. So we are in our final segment. It is our weekly threes. It is 3 things that you're listening to that you would like people to check out. You're going to give your 3 for the week, and then I'm going to give my 3 for the week.
I'm going to throw out Rat Boys again. I absolutely love their new album, Singing to an Empty Chair. That album is incredible. I'm going to throw out, oh man, the new Courtney Barnett album, Creature of Habit, is incredible. I absolutely love that record.
My previous guest just had that on there as well.
Oh my God, it's so good. And then I'm going to throw out, I've been on a weird, the band Prawn. I've been on a weird kick with them again lately. I haven't listened to them much in like years. And the album Kingfisher by Prawn is damn near perfect. I love that record.
I think they are a band that more people should hear about and hear their music. And I saw them, I think it was in Philly at Milk Boy years ago. And I was just like, who? And they were the opener of like a 5-band fucking bill. And I was like, who the fuck are these guys? Like, just God damn.
Yeah, my old band opened for them at this like little hole in the wall, like DIY space. And I remember just like us being, I think we played, they were on tour by themselves. It was us and one other local opener, and we played first. And I remember we played, and Prawn came up to us afterwards, and they like shook our hands, and they were like, yo, y'all, well, like, good set, like, you guys fucking kill it. And then like the second band played, and we all like looked at each other, and we were like, this band fucking sucks. Like, they were not good. I'm not gonna say any names or whatever, And then it was naturally that thing where like the band just like, number one, we weren't like super stoked that they were playing music, and then they grabbed their shit and left the venue as soon as they got done playing, and like 40 fucking people that they brought with them all left too. So then it was like us play, like it was my bandmates and like, you know, the 15, 20 people that we brought to the show, watching Prawn, and they blew my mind. They were so goddamn good.
I'm an asshole music venue owner. I don't let people leave.
Good.
Like, now you can't leave. I don't care that you're here to see your fucking boy pretend to play a song on stage for the first band. You're fucking staying for everything.
Yep.
So, yeah.
With locking the door. Fuck you.
Yep. Now you can't leave.
Yep.
All right, my 3 for this week. My first one is Kiss the Scientist. Better in My Head is the name of the album. Indie rock from L.A. Number 2 is a band called Hyber, Hyber. Name of the album, Waiting for Your Call. They're indie pop rock, I guess I want to say. I guess because the girl's voice is very like popish, but it's got awesome indie rock melodies in the background. And last but not least is my favorite thing is to go back and find bands that I never heard of that were around during eras that I was listening to music and it was really hard to find. And one that I recently found was a band called the Dam Builders. Against the Stars is the name of the album. They were kind of alternative rock during that time because it was the 90s, early 90s. But I'm glad I found them. Like we said earlier, it doesn't matter how old you are when you find it, as long as it finds you and you find it and it means something. And the Dam Builders album, I found it and I was like, fuck, how did this get past me?
I am looking all 3 of those up right now.
But Chris, thank you so much, especially after your day-to-day, to make time to come out and just hang out and have a cool, open conversation about music. Thank you for fucking the album you created. It is fucking killer. Everybody, you need to go out and listen to this fucking album. Box Elder, self-titled. You can purchase it on Steadfast Records right now. Go to their Bandcamp. However you can, just fucking find this record, listen to it, come see them May 23rd at Hidden Tracks Records in Boonton, New Jersey. It's my birthday also. We're also going to be celebrating. I may not, we'll see how far I get through the night. But I will definitely be celebrating, enjoying some awesome music. And thank you so much for what you do, man. Like, music creation isn't easy. Putting songs together, basically part of your soul, putting it out into the world for people to judge. I never overlook that, and it means the world to me that people do that and put so much effort into it. You've done a great job, and thank you so much for creating that.
Thanks, dude. That especially today, that means a shit ton.
But everybody else out there in the world, you know what time it is. It's time to go out, listen to Box Elder, and have a great fucking time.
Pushing me down onto the floor.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.